In our journey with God, there are many different seasons. There are some times in our lives when we're hungry to pray, we're hungry to learn, we're hungry to be with God. There are other times in our lives when we're not. There are times in our lives where certain types of spirituality engage us, and there are other times in our lives where those very same things that brought us great enthusiasm and great passion leave us dry and desolate. And so it's important to recognize the seasons in our spirituality. One of the great seasons in my spiritual journey was when my first child was born. When my first son was born, I had this overwhelming experience, realization. I had this, just this sense that, okay, hold on a minute. Here's this little guy. I love him so much, but I am weak and broken and flawed with a bunch of failings. And if I can love this child this much, considering all my brokenness and all my imperfection, well then how much does God love us? And it was in this experience that sort of the infinite love of God really knocked me over the head. And for, 2 weeks maybe, I would go to my prayer time, and half the days I would just cry. I would just be like, wow. And He gave me this grace in this season of my spirituality. He gave me this grace of just being immersed in His love, which was very, very powerful. And so as we talk about resting in God, it's important that we understand this foundational truth that God does love us. And to get to that truth, think about, who is the person or who are the people that you love more than anything else, okay? And think about how great your love is for that person or those people. And then think about, okay, how weak and how broken and how flawed and how imperfect you are. And think about the idea that, okay, if you can love this person or this people this much, how much greater is God's love for you? And then immerse yourself in that love. The question that I raise in the chapter about Walter in the book, about Walter, my son, and about Saint Walter, is, have you ever allowed yourself to rest in God's love? I think very often we live in a culture that's obsessed with action, with activity. We got to do something. And God is not calling us first to do anything. He's calling us first to be. He's calling us first to be with Him, just to be with Him. And then He's calling us to be who He created us to be. And then the doing of our life, the action of our life, is a natural explosion that comes from being with God and being and becoming who He created us to be.